Okay, we're live, or at least we should. Let me know if everything looks good, if everything sounds good. On my side, I'm gonna lower the music a little. But do let me know if you can't hear the music, because I definitely don't want to have it that low that it's not, is not hearable. Is that the right term? I don't know. What's up? Good to have you here. Let me just move this thing right here. There we go. Hope you're doing great. A bit later than usual this live stream, but thank you for being here. Yeah, we're gonna be answering your questions as per usual. I did have Q&A in the title, perfect. And yeah, let's start with water break. Is that working? Water break. Water break?
Water break activated.
There we go.
It's good to be hydrated.
Okay. I know what's going on. I don't have the correct audio. There it is. Perfect. What's up? How have you been? What are you up to? What's good? I was thinking today of watching or reviewing certain videos on certain stuff. So I'm always happy, like, if you want me to watch or review any video, it can be productivity, it can be anything else. I'm gonna see if I find something interesting to watch together. Let me see, I have quite a few things on my watch later playlist. On YouTube, of course. But let me see if there's anything that's relevant enough for us to watch together, because I watch a lot of random stuff.
Making appointments is hard. People forget them.
Nah, maybe not that one. Let me see. I mean, ideally, something at least somewhat related with productivity, right? I just have so many random videos. Let's see. Well, I was watching some... Yeah, this could be interesting. Okay, so I was watching some, like, like TED Talk animations. Those are pretty interesting, but I want to see if there's anything relevant to productivity, or at least something similar. Let me see if I find something. Okay, I'll share my screen so that you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, here we go. Okay, scene 2. Scene 2. There we go. Yeah, okay, so there's like this playlist in TED. It is pretty nice. Well, TED, this one seems to have a lot of animations, and I was checking out quite a few this morning, and I really enjoy them. They're really, really well done, very well explained. For instance, there was one on what is the perfect time for napping. If you're interested in that, let me know. But actually, if you can, or if you just have any videos that you'd like me to check out, just let me know. The link, if you can put it in the chat, if not just the title. Maybe you can put links on the chat. But either way, you can always tell me titles of things that you think might be interesting to watch together. I should have definitely found something beforehand. Apologies for that. But let's see what we find. Let's just see TED Ed. Productivity animation. Okay, yeah, this could be good. How to manage your time more efficiently according to machines. Interesting. The art of timing and spacing. Benefits of good posture. This could be interesting as well. You know what? I think I'm gonna add them to like Obsidian or something, just to have a list of videos that we could check out together. Let me just make sure that there's... Oh no, it should be fine. Okay, yeah. The daily note is empty. Okay, yeah, this could be good. Yeah, I guess we could watch this one. Pretty curious on what it says. I was watching quite a few of these in the morning, and they're pretty good, man. So yeah, we're gonna watch them together. Let me know if the volume is too loud. Should be fine.
Has anyone ever told you, stand up straight, or scolded you for slouching?
Oh, wait, no. The posture one, not now. I want to actually watch the time management. Maybe the posture one later. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. Nice. Daily habits, right?
In the summer of 1997, NASA's Pathfinder spacecraft landed on the surface of Mars and began transmitting incredible, iconic images back to Earth. But several days in, something went terribly wrong. The transmissions stopped. Pathfinder was, in effect, procrastinating, keeping itself fully occupied, but failing to do its most important work. What was going on? There was a bug, it turned out, in its scheduler. Every operating system has something called the scheduler that tells the CPU how long to work on each task before switching, and what to switch to. Done right, computers move so fluidly between their various responsibilities, they give the illusion of doing everything simultaneously. But we all know what happens when things go wrong. This should give us, if nothing else, some measure of consolation. Even computers get overwhelmed sometimes. Maybe learning about the computer science of scheduling can give us some ideas about our own human struggles with.
It's pretty interesting. So it's like RAM, right? Like the capacity of your computer to multitask and so on. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Let's see. Feel free to interrupt me at any point. We can definitely pause and play. But yeah, pretty interesting.
One of the first insights is that all the time you spend prioritizing your work is time you aren't spending doing it. For instance, let's say when you check your inbox, you scan all the messages, choosing which is the most important. Once you've dealt with that one, you repeat. Seems sensible, but there's a problem here. This is what's known as a quadratic time algorithm. With an inbox that's twice as full, these passes will take twice as long, and you'll need to do twice as many of them. This means 4 times the work. The programmers of the operating system Linux encountered a similar problem in 2000.
Wait, that's really interesting. I wonder if they offer kind of a solution for how should you approach it, you know, because that's definitely something I do. Like, I have a certain number of emails, and I know, well, first off, I try to create the expectation that, or like, you know, just kind of like the a standard that I don't respond straight away. And some people that I have recurring conversations with, they know that I take a while to respond. For the most part, you know, like especially if I'm doing something that is important to me, so I would postpone it. But I really wonder how, you know, what this video proposes to do with how to better scan emails, you know. What's up, Sanjak? Good to have you here. So we're watching this video, how to manage your time more effectively. If you have any comments or ideas on this, I'd love to, you know, I'm always happy to pause and discuss. But yeah, let's keep going. Right now, we're just talking about how computers decide which tasks are more important and how, as humans, we struggle a bit more to prioritize on certain things. So let's see what else it has to say.
2003. Linux would rank every single one of its tasks.
Oh yeah, wait, sorry. Yeah, let me just go back. Now he's moving on to Linux. Okay.
The programmers of the operating system Linux encountered a similar problem in 2003. Linux would rank every single one of its tasks in order of importance, and sometimes spent more time ranking tasks than doing them. The programmer's counterintuitive solution was to replace this full ranking with a limited number of priority buckets. The system was less precise about what to do next, but more than made up for it by spending more time making progress. So with your emails, insisting on always doing the very most important thing first could lead to a meltdown. Waking up to an inbox 3 times fuller than normal could take 9 times longer to clear. You'd be better off replying in chronological order or even at random. Surprisingly, sometimes giving up on doing things in the perfect order may be the key to getting them done. Another
I never heard of that concept. That's super interesting. So it's saying that we spend more energy deciding what is important, and therefore we take more time doing those things. Whereas if we were to just do things kind of like at random order or in chronological order, especially like replying to email, we could optimize the time spent on them. Well, I mean, yeah, then of course, like some emails require longer replies than others, and some emails maybe don't even require a reply. This is interesting. I mean, I never approached things like this, so I'm really curious. I'm really curious on like how would that work out, you know? Jason, what's up, man? Good to have you here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so we're watching, in case you just got here, we're watching this video on how to manage your time more effectively. And it's, you know, like it's comparing to the way that machines or computers do it. Right now we talked about this very interesting thing, you know, like I'll play that again because it's pretty interesting. It's talking about how if we have like an inbox of emails, we tend to prioritize on the most important ones and then leave the less important for later. And it's kind of suggesting that it might be better not to spend the time prioritizing. I have a lot to say about this, so yeah, in case you just got here, let me play that part again. It's pretty interesting.
Next, but more than made up for it by spending more time making progress. So with your emails, insisting on always doing the very most important thing first could lead to a meltdown. Waking up to an inbox 3 times fuller than normal could take 9 times longer to clear. You'd be better off replying in chronological order or even at random. Surprisingly, sometimes giving up on doing things in the perfect order may be the key to getting them done. Another insight that emerges from computer sketch.
Yeah, sorry, I'll pause just because Jason has some nice insights. I guess this concept works well with email, but I think we should always prioritize our most important things first, you know? Yeah, our most important work first. There we go. Yeah, no, I agree, you know, like I wonder, like let's keep watching and let's see if they suggest to do this in general life. I mean, it's definitely talking about how like paralysis analysis, you know, like spending too much time analyzing what's the best way to approach something can definitely take away from the time we spend doing that thing. But I'm definitely struggling with the concept of doing things random because priorities are important, right? At least that's what I've always thought. Let's keep watching.
Scheduling has to do with one of the most prevalent features of modern life: interruptions. When a computer goes from one task to another, it has to do what's called a context switch, bookmarking its place in one task, moving old data out of its memory, and new data in. Each of these actions comes at a cost. The insight here is that there's a fundamental trade-off between productivity and responsiveness. Getting serious work done means minimizing context switches, but being responsive means reacting anytime something comes up. These two principles are fundamentally in tension. Recognizing this tension allows us to decide where we want to strike that balance. The obvious solution is to minimize interruptions. The less obvious one is to group them. If no notification or email requires a response more urgently than once an hour, say, then that's exactly how often you should check them. No more. In computer science, this idea goes by the name of interrupt coalescing.
Well, yeah, that's interesting, right? Like, one thing I do like about email opposed to like you know, a chat. I'm just talking about, you know, like WhatsApp or like what do you use in the US? I don't even know. Like here in South America and in Europe we use WhatsApp quite a lot, you know, but I think in the US everyone has to buy an iPhone to communicate to each other through messages, through chat. I don't know if you know about that, let me know. I have a couple of friends from the US and they never use things like WhatsApp, you know, or even Telegram. They always use like the iPhone. What is it called? iMessage? Is that what it's called? Is everyone forced to buy an iPhone in the US to communicate with each other? That's crazy, man. But yeah, either way, you know, like that's one thing I like about emails. It feels like there's a bit less pressure to reply quickly, at least compared to chat. And I mean, yeah, definitely some people are impatient even with email. Like they message you one day, you reply the next day. They think that was a long time. Or sometimes I've definitely messaged someone and they reply like 5 hours later and they say sorry for the late reply, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm willing to wait a week on your reply. You know what I mean? I feel like that is one of the nice things about email, that you can get away with checking email just once a day. I do think I check email like twice, maybe 3 times a day, but I definitely don't try to keep reloading it and checking it all the time, just because it takes a lot of time, you know. Like there's definitely people asking questions that require a lot of like energy and effort from my part, and sometimes I'm in the middle of something that I consider very important that I want to focus on, so I try not to check email that often. Yeah, I think this is definitely important. Let's see what else the video says.
Rather than dealing with things as they come up, oh, the mouse was moved, a key was pressed, more of that file downloaded, the system groups these interruptions together based on how long they can afford to wait. In 2013, interrupt coalescing triggered a massive improvement in laptop battery life. This is because deferring interruptions lets a system check everything at once, then quickly re-enter a low-power state. As with computers, so it is with us. Perhaps adopting a similar approach might allow us users to reclaim our own attention and give us back one of the things that feels so rare in modern life: rest. Are you interested in improving your own time and task management skills? If so, we highly recommend you check out Algorithm.
Yeah, pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. Very, very insightful. Let's give it a like. We can't dislike things on YouTube anymore, so we're not gonna do that. I mean, we can, but there's no count. Did you see that? That's pretty crazy. Did you realize that? That now there's no dislike count on YouTube. It's pretty crazy, man. I don't like it because whenever I search for a video that I want to see if it's a useful tutorial or not, I always used to look at the count, and now that there's no count, that's pretty crazy. Either way, more in the subject. I think the video was pretty insightful. I really enjoyed it. This thing about grouping interruptions is pretty useful. I wonder how we could use that, like in our lives, like grouping interruptions. Is it more like if you feel distracted by chat messages, email, and I don't know, like groups or forums, maybe group them into like all of them into a slot of time where you just spend your time checking them all in bulk, right? Something like that. So like bulking different, what is it called, different activities that require kind of the same type of brain power. I think that could be a good, nice way to approach it. Pretty nice. Pretty cool. Yeah, I enjoyed this one. If you guys know of any other videos that are as good as this one, let me know. Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. I'm gonna save that in my mind. I liked it. Oh, got stuck with water. Horrible. How to practice effectively. Oh, okay. I'm really curious about this one as well. Let me at least save it. Oh, Jason is saying something. Let's take a look. I think it's best if we remove distractions altogether while working, especially if the work we're doing is important. Yeah, no, I agree, right? Like, I do and I highly recommend Pomodoro sessions. Yeah, to me, they still are one of the best techniques for focusing. I need to make a video about that. Let me write that down, actually. Make a video. Woo. Wait, let me just move my face out of the way. There we go. Pomodoro. Because this was definitely a concept that really improved things for me when I first learned it, right? And in case you're not familiar, in case you're watching this later, yeah, Pomodoros are kind of this idea that you work on 25-minute intervals. You focus without distractions. You can have a timer. I mean, it's better if you have a proper timer. And then you take 5 minutes of rest, in which some people recommend like you go for a walk, or you do some different activity. Like you allow yourself to be distracted if you want, but then you go back to the the 25 minutes focus time, followed by another 5 minutes of rest, and so on, and you repeat this cycle. Well, I mean, technically 4 times. Is that 4 times? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there we go. And then you take a 30-minute break, I think. Yeah, I don't usually follow the 4, the 4 blocks of time structure necessarily. But I do feel that maybe after 4 Pomodoros, I'm pretty tired and I do need to take a rest. However, that rest that is a bit longer, I don't usually time that one. Yeah, I think this is correct. 25. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So I did, these Pomodoro sessions, I actually was experimenting with doing it in live stream because I think it was pretty interesting. Like if you go to playlists, wait, actually, it's better if you do it in incognito, just because otherwise I see all the playlists that I've created, whereas in here you see only the ones that are public about my channel. So previous live streams, there should be one for, where is it? Just chatting. Study with me. Yeah, I did one of these. So I don't know, if you guys are interested in more of this, let me know, because it is definitely an interesting concept to do, and it's quite fun. So in here I just had a timer, through the video like that, and I just worked on my own stuff, and then that was the idea, you know. Like studying together, working together. So I might do more of this if you guys are interested. So do let me know if this is something that you would enjoy, just like doing Pomodoro sessions together. But yeah, pretty cool, right? Water break.
Water break activated. It's good to be hydrated.
Let me get my headphones back to check if the music volumes are okay and so on. Maybe a bit louder, you know. Cool. Yeah, let me know if that's fine. Yeah, I'm really curious by this one. So we can watch this one right here. How to practice effectively. I'm definitely into, like, you know, I love like learning new skills. That's definitely something that I've always been passionate about. And I really like the idea of like immersing yourself into a new activity, into a new hobby. And I think it's pretty cool. Like, yeah, one of the things that I almost always have with me is this Rubik's Cube. Is one of my oldest hobbies. I think I've been doing this since I was like maybe 15. I don't even know. I have a video on YouTube when I started doing Rubik's Cubes. But this is definitely crazy how like this is a skill that plateaus very easily. Like, it's kind of like you exponentially get better at the beginning, and then over time you start getting diminishing returns, right? Like the amount of speed that you can build in this thing gets pretty difficult as you progress. Like right now, going below 37 seconds is impossible to me right now. I think I might be able to do it if like I really worked on it, but like 37 seconds is my current record, and you know, beating that record is getting super hardcore. Super difficult. Yeah, we might time it if you want to. Is it, like, I don't know, have you ever do you enjoy Rubik's cubing? Is it something you've ever tried? Speed cubing, as it's called, you know, like when you do it a bit faster than usual. Right now I'm not going that fast, to be honest. I'm kind of distracted. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fun hobby. I don't think I do it every night, but most nights I do practice my Rubik cubing. That's not the right term. Speed cubing. Such a fun thing to do. Did you know that there's how many combinations? It's like trillions of combinations of the different ways you can arrange a cube in. Let's find that. I'm always forgetting that number, but it's something incredible. Scene 2. Scene 2? Come on, why is it not working? Scene 2? Scene 2, please. Scene 2. There we go, finally. Look at this. An analysis of all the possible permutations for the smaller constituent cubes, often called cubies, can end up shows that there's about 43 quintillion. So how many zeros is that? It's 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, I'm getting stupid now. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 zeros, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 18 zeros. That's ridiculous. You're right. Yeah, definitely 18. That's crazy. So what that means is that a cube can be like, you know, just considering that this is one option, this is another, this is another, this is another, this is another, you know, like any possible combination where the cube is in a new pattern. That means that if I scramble it, it's likely that this combination that I have right here might have never been done by anyone else in existence, you know, like this is unique potentially, right? Whereas, like, of course, like a solved cube is one of the most common ones because that's the one that everyone's aiming for, or like small patterns. Let's show you some cube patterns that I can do. I just need to solve it again. It's pretty fun. But that's crazy. That's ridiculous. The ways that you can also shuffle like a deck of cards into different combinations is pretty big. But yeah, I don't think it's nowhere close to what you can do with a cube. It's pretty crazy. We'll watch the video after this. I just want to show you something. But I need to solve the cube first. There you go, right? Like what I wanted to show you is like, of course, this is already one pattern, right? But like some of the other common ones that are pretty cool is like when you do these type of patterns, like that. So that was pretty nice. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. There's another one. I don't know if I remember them. I don't do them that often. Yeah. Okay. Wait. I think if you do this several times, yeah, it goes back. Another really cool thing. Another really cool thing that you can do is bringing it back to the same position that it was in by doing something called the sexy move. I mean, that's the name of it. It's very nerdy, but you go like this. And if you do this, I think 6 times. Let's take a look. I think it might be a bit more. It comes back to its original position, right? It's a very interesting concept. Like if you repeat the same movement a certain number of times, depending on the move, it goes back to its original position. So of course, this is one of the most common ones. The sexy move, and there it is, right? I can do it a bit faster, I think. Let me just angle it in a... Yeah, these are the best colors, aren't they? I really like those. There you go, right? That's the idea. How long did it take you to learn to solve it? So I started when I was like 15, and it took me, I think it took me a week to learn how to solve it with the basic technique. And with that basic technique, it used to take me like 3 minutes to solve, right? Then maybe I was practicing for like 6 months or a year, and that's when I first managed to get under 1 minute, you know? And that was my record. So I did it from like, I don't know, when I was 15 to like 18. I was very much into this. It was a very nice hobby that I always used to do. And very recently, like maybe like 5 months ago or so, I decided to get back into the Rubik's Cube. And I got this one that is a bit nicer, you know, like it just lights a little bit nicer. It's very smooth compared to the original one that doing this kind of hurts your fingers. Like this one, you can do even like a double spin potentially. Yeah, pretty much. So this one's way smoother than normal. It has like this kind of like springs. So this one is a bit faster and easier to be fast on. However, I did manage to go under 1 minute with the original cube. So I would say a week just to solve it, you know, and I think that feels pretty nice to be able just to solve it. Yeah, if you just check out like basic tutorials on YouTube, that should teach you I think it's called the Friedrich method, which is the most common one where you solve layer by layer. You know, first like let me try to do it. What's fun is that now that I know the more advanced, one of the advanced techniques is not the most popular one. It's the one that I use is called Ru. So it's spelled like this. Yeah, like that, Ru. And I really enjoy it. I think it's pretty fun, you know. But like the one that they teach for people just getting started is, of course, you just solve all the whites in here. You just, you know, like bring them up there. It's a pretty intuitive process. Like you start just bringing them there. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, if you want me to do a tutorial, maybe one day I'll do it. Right now, I'm just kind of showing you the concept. Like the idea is just bringing all the whites to the top or any color that you prefer, you know, like that. And then you have all whites in here, but then you need to make sure that all of these ones are in the respective colors, which are kind of guided by this one right here. Like blue is always opposite of green. So you need to have green in here and you need to have blue in here, meaning that I need to switch this one right here for the place where it goes. The place where it goes should be now, let's say here. There we go. Let's just find the green. So yeah, like the idea again is that blue should be opposite of green so that it matches with the centers, because these center pieces, you cannot move them, you know, you cannot change them for others. So yeah, now red should go opposite to orange, which is something that again you don't have control over, you just need to do. You see, so now all of these ones are kind of centered. And this part is kind of intuitive. It does take some time to get used to like the correct movements, and that's why watching a tutorial is definitely the best way to approach it, because it's just a lot of algorithms, there's a lot of patterns that you need to memorize, and then you have all of this layer correctly placed, you see? And it needs to match with these ones right here. And then you would do these ones right here. For instance, this edge needs to go here, I think. Yeah, I think that's a... This is not the method I use, so I don't know it that well, but just for the sake of example, I'm gonna try it out. Yeah, there you go. So now you have this one. You just need to locate like, okay, this blue and red needs to go here, right? Because these are the centers. So there's like one move in particular that you need to do to move it up there, and now it's there. And again, this is the easy method. This one, for instance, is flipped the other way. So what we need to do is we need to take it out of there. And now that we have it where we want it, right here, to go up there, we can do this move. It's just a move that you need to memorize. It's not immediately obvious how you do that. And you see, now all of these 2/3 of the cube are solved. And now the final layer, you turn it around and you do more stuff. But this is the part that I don't fully remember, like because I do another technique I don't fully know, so I'm just gonna do random stuff in here. Yeah, like the technique that I use is slightly different. Is this concept where you always hold the cube from one certain angle. That way you don't need to rotate it much, and that allows you to be a bit faster. You know. But yeah, there's definitely great tutorials. I of course learned this in YouTube. Yeah, like that part I can't teach that well right now without showing you everything that I'm doing. But yeah, pretty cool, right? Let me know. I'm happy to talk more Rubik's Cube. I can show you the method that I use. The method that I use is kind of like just using these fingers to rotate it way faster. But it involves a lot of other things in order for that to work out. If you do the same move several times, it should go back to its original position, but I think I already messed it up. Yeah, I already messed it up. Cool. Yeah, let's see. Oh, we have quite a few questions. What's up, Najib Ali? Yes, Santi, I sent you a DM on Twitter, but didn't realize you were streaming, so I'll ask you here. Ah, perfect. Yeah, wait. Let me just see, because sometimes I feel that Twitter doesn't... Ah, okay, yeah. I'm just on Twitter checking. It's on message requests. Because, yeah, they don't usually come to my direct inbox. Someone write their master thesis or just being ready. Okay, yeah, I'll answer the question here. Did you copy it here? Ah, perfect. Thank you for copying it here. That helps a lot. Yeah, I'll close Twitter then. Thank you, man. Okay. Cool. So the question is, I was just wondering how you would use Obsidian for someone writing a master's thesis in history with many sources. Okay. I've just begun reading and have many scattered thoughts, so I was wondering how you would use Obsidian to create ideas from sources. Yeah, it's a great question, man. Okay. So there's a couple of things that you can do, okay? Let me open Obsidian to show you. It might be easier if I just open like a demo vault so that I can just fully show you all of the whole of Obsidian. Yeah, let me just open a demo vault because I do have some sensitive information in my personal one. Yeah, okay, cool. So here we can experiment with all types of things, right? And by the way, Samyak, I'll definitely get to your question. Thank you, man, and to your thoughts, because that's a pretty interesting topic. But we'll get to it. Najib's question is really good right now, so we're gonna tackle that. And I think it's definitely a complex problem. And you have a couple of approaches. I'll give you probably some of my favorite approaches right now, something that I hope will help at least somehow to get you started. And yeah, let's just like try to outline some of the ideas. Okay, so one of the things that you can do, let's just say this is step number 1, is of course collect information. So like have a way to collect the things that you're reading to actually place them somewhere, right? You could do this in Obsidian, this step in Obsidian, but I honestly think there's better tools for that process, for that part of the process, which is to collect and organize information. Some of the resources that I recommend taking a look at is, especially, okay, if you're doing more academic stuff, Then Sotero is a good one. Mendeley, is that how you spell it? You're probably familiar with these ones if you're into academics. This is the one that I use for my thesis, to be honest, and it's pretty nice. I do. Why is this not copying? Okay, I know it's not copying. Copy. Okay, yeah, there we go. This one's pretty nice. It's like Sotero, if you're familiar with that one. I think Sotero is open source and free. I don't remember having to pay for this one, but it might have been because my university had an association. I can't remember, but this one was pretty nice. You know, it helps you cite information very nicely. However, I do believe that this one does require you to use Microsoft Word. Like in my case, when I wrote my master's dissertation in England, which is the same as a thesis, I wrote it in a program very similar to Obsidian. Obsidian didn't exist yet, but then I moved it all to Word, and in Word, that's where I cite certain things. Now, there's definitely a couple of approaches, and I don't want to make it too complicated for you, but either way, like the idea is that first find a way to collect information. You could use Obsidian for that, but I do believe that that could be a bit complicated. Another one that I use, but is less academic, is called My Mind, and it's a bit more expensive. So I definitely recommend one of these two first for having a way to organize information, right? Okay, then second, let's just say, like, I don't know, like narrow down information into your own words. And this is where definitely Obsidian comes in. So you can have like some sort of organization system, whether that's on folders or on tags. You know, like the tag pin right here. Like, I don't know, you could tag something like, depending on the topic that you're writing, I don't know, history, right? And now here you have tags, and that's a nice way to filter through information. Research. Yeah, there you go. So something like that. You know, like there's a lot of ways to organize different information. You could use folders, you could use tags, or you could use, you know, like just links. So yeah, narrow down information, try to distill that into smaller nodes that you can have inside of Obsidian. This could be like a Zettelkasten kind of situation. For that, I definitely recommend the book How to Take Smart Notes by Sonke Ahrens. Is that his name? Something like this. Okay, let's just check. I don't want to mispronounce it or misspell it. Sonke. Yeah. Okay, I pretty much got it. Oops. Yeah, by this guy, right? This is definitely a great book. Highly recommended. It's definitely gonna give you a lot of this information. I think it's very much aimed at academics, so I think you'll definitely benefit from this. It just kind of shows you a bit of the structure behind a Zettelkasten, which is this advanced technique of distilling information into smaller pieces, so later on you can put it into bigger pieces. And then, of course, after you have like a lot of nodes and a lot of information that has already been distilled, what you can do is you can compile it with a couple of different methods. So one of the methods that I would recommend is kind of like the built-in way that you have to do things in, you know, in Obsidian. I'm just gonna show you just to give you an example. Here I have a couple of example, you know, like nodes. And what you would do is like you can just drag and drop them. So yeah, I don't know, like this one. I don't know, let's put that one as well. This one right there. And now I have kind of like a series of nodes. I don't think this one has any content, right? But yeah, either way. And now when you put an exclamation mark at the beginning of that, when you go into preview mode, you can see that all the content of that, this one has images, but you don't need to have images. All the contents of that is now organized inside of that file, right? In that particular order. Let me just move this here. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so that way now what we have on the left is kind of like an outline, and in here you have all the embedded information, right? So you can, of course, imagine that there's more text in here. I have some images just for the sake of example, but what's pretty cool about this is that now you can just like reorganize this And now you have a kind of a bit of a different outline. And then what I recommend is you can just copy paste all of this information like this. And now here you have something more of an outline, right? You know what I mean? And now you can edit this information. That is one way to approach it. It's kind of tricky. It is kind of annoying. It has its limitations. That is not perfect at all. But it is a way that you can approach this. Another interesting way that I would recommend, if you definitely want to use Obsidian, is going for the plugin called, I think it's called Longform. Yeah, Longform. So it takes a bit of getting used to, but it's definitely a really good way in which you can do what I just did, but in a bit of an easier way. We can install it if you want, okay? We can definitely install it and show you at least how it works, you know? So like, okay, now that it's installed, we can just go to the community plugins in here, Longform, and let's just take a look. Oh, I thought there were settings in there. Maybe there are settings. Yeah, Longform, here it is, right? Okay, if you find the... Okay, no, I think the settings are in here. Okay, let's see. So now Longform is right here, right? So now what you need to do is you need to start by making a folder for the project that you're writing, right? Which in this case is a thesis. Selecting mark as Longform project. So now if we just create a folder and let's just call these thesis, now I can throw some of the nodes that I already have that I know that I want to reuse in the thesis or manipulate in some way. I can just put it in that folder. Let me see, this one too. Yeah, I think those are the ones that I have, like, that makes sense for that, right? And now we right click and we create mark as Longform project. There we go. For now, I'm just gonna add it like that. There we go. It just creates a subfolder called drafts. There we go. And now when we go to Longform, we can see that there's different scenes and different like drafts and the compilation that you can have. So this is the part where it gets a bit tricky, and honestly I haven't used this plugin that much to be an expert on it, but here's like where you can reorganize information in different ways and how you can actually compile it so that whatever you write is outputted in a different order, right? Let me just take a look. Draft 1 scenes. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing me the files. Let me just take a look. Theses, drafts. Should it go in drafts? Let me take a look. Oh man, I definitely had a problem. Like, let's just see scene 1. Okay, I think you need to create the information here. Oh man, I was reviewing this plugin the other day and it fell into the same problem. Like, I just thought you would have to drop the nodes that you wanted in here, but like for some reason it's not working like that. Let's take a look. I think it wants you to use this from the very beginning. So either way, I'll still explain what I mean, right? So here you have scene 2. You write more information. And now what you can do is like, okay, this is scene 1. Now this is scene 2, right? And now what's cool is that you can reorganize the order of this right here inside of Obsidian very easily. And now you can just compile it and bring together the content of all those nodes into one master file that will go into drafts, right? Draft compile, here it is. I hope that made sense. I'm really sorry. I definitely still struggle to understand why is it not letting me use the files that are already created. Maybe that's something that I still need to experiment with. But if not, you can always just like create the files straight into here. And here you have different drafts and different scenes. I just have no idea yet how to import nodes that you already have into that folder, you know what I mean? Either way, let me know if that helps. Water break.
Water break activated. It's good to be hydrated.
Yeah, man, I'm so sorry. Like, I haven't experimented with this plugin myself that much because I use another app that I'll talk about if you want to. But I really thought that any folder that you, any file that you threw into that folder would be part of one of the scenes. Maybe I need to drop it in draft 1? Ah, there we go. Yeah, okay. I was just dropping it in the wrong folder. Okay, so any nodes that you already have, sorry about that, now I got it. Any nodes that you already want to bring into your project, you need to drop them inside of draft 1, which is the draft that we're working on. That's why it wasn't working. I just put it on the folder of drafts, right? And now we have sharks, dogs, and squeaky toys, and the world's smallest reptile. These are all files or nodes that are related to the project and the draft that we're working on, right? Perfect, we got it. And now we go back to Longform. And now in here you can select, oh wait, what is this? Okay, this is kind of weird. Just ignore this. Oh no, yeah, I just moved things out of the way. Let me just bring it back. That's really confusing. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So now that you're in here, you can just reorganize the order in which you want to export all of this. So say now this particular topic you want it to go at the beginning, this one in the middle, and this one scene 2 at the end, right? There we go. Now whenever you compile all of this, I'm gonna compile it. It's probably gonna ask me to, okay, it just automatically renames it. And now here we have draft 1 compiled, and here it is with scene 2 at the very end and so on. And that's how you compile a whole document, right? Then what I would do is probably move all of these to somewhere like Microsoft Word perhaps, and then you can use a tool like the one that I was telling you about earlier, like Menly or Sotero, that can help you do more citations, like, you know, citations in a bit of an easier way. You know, so I mean, sorry for all the scattered advice, but that's definitely one way to approach it. The other one that I would recommend if you don't like this approach in Obsidian is you can take your nodes in Obsidian, but then whenever you're ready, you can actually compile them into this one. This one is called, I'm still in the trial, but this one is called Scrivener, right? Like this, Scrivener. And it's a really good app. It's especially made for people writing books, but I've definitely seen people using it for academic purposes, and it's a really, really nice way in which you can organize. Well, here I was drafting like a YouTube video, for instance, right? But what's really nice is that you can reorganize the order of things, and that is gonna change the order in the final document. And you don't need to compile it, you just see it in here. If you want me to go deeper into this, please let me know. This is a bit of a whole nother monster, but it's a really good app, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna pay for it once my trial expires. Really good. I'm using this one for writing a book, and it really helps for longer projects. Either way, I'll tackle the questions because there's quite a few that I haven't been reading. That was really helpful. Thank you. I'm glad it was helpful. Sorry for all the scattered advice, but hopefully something in there was useful. Yeah, definitely, because I didn't prepare that. Yeah, and I haven't experimented that much with that plugin yet. I just know it's very useful, but yeah, I just haven't played with it myself that much because I'm using the other app, Scrivener. Whew, it's getting warm in here. This plugin looks amazing. Yeah, it's definitely a great one. Okay, Samjak, so sorry, I've been not reading your comments. Let's go for them. How do you draw the line between a job and doing a hobby? I mean, I think one way to approach that would be like, if it makes money. That was a weird noise. Either way, if it makes money, it's a job. If it doesn't, it's a hobby. It's kind of tricky. I think the moment that you make money out of your hobby, it might not be a hobby enough anymore. That's what I would say, to be honest. Like kind of like a broader definition. I wouldn't say that a hobby is when you have fun and a job is when you're bored, because you can definitely love your job. You can definitely have fun at your job. Maybe not all the time, but I think you're more likely to have fun in a hobby. This is something I really struggle because whenever I have a new hobby, I always try to find ways to financially benefit from it. You know, like even if I don't end up doing it, like for instance, you know, Rubik's cubes. I've thought of so many times about making an online course on teaching the Rubik's cube. You know, but it's more of a hobby, and I don't know if I should try to monetize everything that I do. You know, I definitely have other hobbies. Let me think of another. I don't know, what else do I do? let's say photography. Like I know photography pretty well, and yeah, I've definitely thought about making courses on that. Well, yeah, but I mean that is more related to what I study. I studied filmmaking, so maybe that doesn't make sense. Let me think of another hobby. Man, I don't know why I always forget my hobbies when I'm talking about them. That's why I have to write them down in a list. About me page. Yeah, here it is. Here I have like my some of my hobbies. Philosophy, philosophy I've definitely tried to monetize in the past. Haven't been able to do it that well. I did a podcast, 50 episodes, but I never managed to make it into business. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely monetized my passion for learning languages. Like I've definitely given a couple of tutoring classes in Spanish because that's my first language. Magic. Is it even here? What did I not put? Here it is. Yeah, street magic, closet magic. I've definitely tried to monetize this. I made a little money from it because this is my oldest hobby, I think. I've definitely tried to monetize and perform in restaurants and stuff like that. But I honestly prefer it right now as a hobby. Like it's something that I do whenever I feel like it, and I don't really like the pressure of people demanding me to do magic for them. Like entertain us. I don't know. So now I do it more for fun. It's pretty tricky. I do like the idea of like benefiting financially from your skills. Like yeah, video editing, that's something that I kind of do professionally now, let's say. I don't know, like I video edit a lot, but I studied filmmaking, so that's kind of more like the career path that I chose. Yeah, either way, that's the idea. Good question, I like that. Robert Greene just released a new book, The Daily Laws. I think that is quite a good summary of all the books he has ever written, so check it out if you liked his books. Oh, that's great, I didn't know. Robert Greene. Yeah, I'll definitely save it to list of books that I want to check out. Robert Greene, what is it called? The Daily Loss. The Daily Loss. There it is. Yeah, thanks for the recommendation. I'm gonna save it. Oh, why? Why is this not working? Why is that taking so long? Right here. Either way, yeah, I'll have it saved. Yeah, okay, cool. Thanks for the recommendation. I appreciate that. I would say you should have a process where you first collect all the thoughts. Use an app called Raindrop. Yeah, that's also another good alternative. Raindrop, or I personally use one called Reader by Readwise. However, this one they're still kind of onboarding people little by little, like you need to register to sign up. But it's a really cool app. I don't think I'm allowed to show it yet on videos. It looks like this. I do have access. I need to check. I can't remember if I'm allowed to share it yet because they're kind of like on early stages. I can't remember what they told me if I can share it or not. So I'll be cautious for now. I think you like Robert Greene. He was the mentor of Ryan Holiday. Yep, I'm aware of that. And that is the biggest reason why I know who Robert Greene is, because Ryan Holiday never stops talking about him. But I haven't read his books yet, so thanks for the recommendation. Sharks existed before trees. Where did you get that information? Yeah, like I had a couple of interesting fun facts that I copied from the internet. And look at this. This is pretty interesting, It says, trees are young compared to the geese or sharks that rule the sea. Sharks have existed around 400 million years, while trees became their own official species only 350 million years ago. Other notable animals that outlive our leafy ancestors are the horseshoe crab as well as the jellyfish. So the jellyfish, I definitely believe it, because they're kind of like very ancient creatures. They're really strange. But sharks, I had no idea. Like, this is one of the craziest facts I've ever heard. Yeah, but like it's key to see how they say like trees became their own official species only 350 million years ago, opposed to the sharks that are 400 million years ago, So it's pretty crazy. But it says their own official species as trees. meaning that there probably were leaves and there probably were like all types of plants, but trees with the trunk as we know them, that seems to have been formally established as a new species. I don't know what that means. Like, there weren't humans there to say like, okay, that's a tree. So yeah, this is definitely something that requires more research. I have no idea. I've literally only seen this fact, and I was pretty blown away. But yeah, if you think about it, sharks look like very primitive, strange creatures. They're really weird. Look at that. There you go. What do you think on focusing on your strengths versus covering our weakness? I mean, it's not mutually exclusive, but if your life, but in your life, but in your life, what do you think takes precedence? Focusing on your strengths versus covering our weakness. Yeah, I'm really a big believer in following your interests, like not feeling forced to be at a certain level in every area of your life. Like, for instance, if you don't care about, well, money is a difficult one because we all need money to survive, don't we? But if you don't care about, I don't know, let's try to think of something that is kind of a very optional trait or an optional skill to have. If you don't care about learning how to solve a Rubik's Cube, you don't have to. If you don't care about being an athlete, or like being in competing in professional sports, if you don't care about that, then I don't think you should do it. So that's definitely your weakness, like if you don't play American football that well, that's a weakness. I don't think you should focus on that if you don't want to. Like, I don't think we should feel forced to perform well in every area of our lives. So at least that's how I approach it. I follow whatever I consider it interesting, and I try not to feel too much pressure to do good in every area of life, or like feeling the pressure of like other people that are successful, and just because they're good at something, it doesn't mean that I have to learn that thing. I honestly think that personally in my life, one of the things that I've been blessed with, and I'm super lucky, is I have a curiosity to learn a lot of things. And that has definitely helped me become a better, let's say, business guy. Like, I don't know, like, I think the business that I'm kind of running right now is far from perfect, but is good enough. And that's because I have the different skills needed to maintain it. Like, I can record videos. My public speaking techniques, my public speaking skills aren't perfect, but I can talk to the camera semi-comfortably. And yeah, I think that's something I can keep improving on. So I definitely have some of the strengths that I need to run the business. But for instance, I'm not that confident when it comes to understanding taxes, especially in this country, Ecuador. Like, it's very difficult to me, and it definitely paralyzes me, and it's just like a stressful thing that I don't know how to deal with. So I definitely ask for help for that kind of stuff. So I definitely think it's better to focus on the things that you consider interesting. So yeah, technically on your strengths, it's a good question. I like it. Would love a video on using tools for academic work research. Yeah, it'd definitely be interesting, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the input. Let me write it down, because that's definitely something I'll be happy to explore. No. Cool. Make video on tools for academic research. Yeah, I mean, I'm personally not an academic. I studied a master's degree, and that was the end of my academic life. And I don't think I'll ever go to formal education again. Ribbon. Oh, wait, sorry. Stats bar. There we go. Yep. I don't think I'll ever go back to like formal education, just because I really enjoy being self-taught on the things that I learn. I'm not huge into academics, to be honest. But I do see the value in what you're asking, so I'll definitely consider it, and I appreciate it. Sam Yeg is saying, Danny Hatcher's video on Research Rabbit is quite a good one. Yeah, that seems like one of the best tools recently for research. And Danny is way more interested in academics, so highly recommend checking out his stuff. I've been missing out on your live stream, Santi, but I'm glad you could make it. Yeah, Shitashi, thank you for being here. By the way, Shitashi, well done on choosing the winners for the for the October festival. Not festival, Obsidian in October, I mean, because Shitashi was one of the judges. So I'm super impressed by the primary theme. As you can see, I'm using it right now. I'm not even using my theme at the moment because I love this so much. I always use my theme. I never use someone else's theme, but this one's just so good that I think is incredible. So well done for choosing or for contributing to choose this theme as a winner. I think it's so well deserved, and I'm so blown away by the standard that they reached this year. You know, really good. I've heard of Mr. Rabbit and I signed up for it. Haven't gotten around to exploring it yet. Yeah, it sounds interesting. I personally don't think I'll get too much into it just because, yeah, again, I'm not an academic to be honest. But it does look interesting. I mean, I can say I'm not interested in my health, but it doesn't mean I can ignore it, can I? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I was definitely thinking, like, could that be a good example? It's a tricky one because your health determines the quality of your life. Unfortunately, we're all tied to our bodies, right? And that's where I definitely have a bit of conflict because at first I was saying like you shouldn't necessarily be better at things that other people think you should be better, but health is an interesting case because without good health you pretty much can't do anything, you know, like I mean, you can still do things, but like health is definitely an important way to stay alive. So I don't know, it's definitely, that one's very tricky, you know. I don't know how to best approach that. Yeah, exactly. I don't think you can ignore it fully because you're tied to it. Like it's your body, and your body is the vehicle of your thoughts and the vehicle of your life. So you don't need to be obsessed with it. You don't need to be in top shape, but at least being concerned with being healthy enough to function, then yeah, I do think that's still important. A simple question. Yeah, the needs of the many or the needs of the few? Give me more context. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, I see where you're heading, but I would like a bit more of context. Because are you talking like politics? Like, you know, the common well-being of the people? Let me know. I'm not a very political person. I'm more concerned about what is in my control. So I'm not huge into politics, but yeah, I'd love to know more your thoughts on that. I'm watching from 2 accounts, Santiago. Which one is your other account? Ah, okay, yeah. I can see that you have 2 accounts in here. No worries, that's cool. Yeah, this account has different color compared to this one. That's pretty funny, man. Is there ever such a thing as a tool with so many features it becomes unusable? And if so, can you think of any examples? That's a great question, Shitashi. I like that. I don't think well, yeah, I mean, Emacs. Emacs is definitely so feature packed that is the barrier to entry for most people is just huge. It's just too big, you know. So the learning curve is just absurd. It's loading right now because it takes years to load. I'm using SpaceMax. This is the variation of Emacs that I use, and it's just very powerful, but it's not accessible. You know, like it's not easy to learn. It takes a while, and even then, once you get into it, it's infinite. You know, like you never stop learning it, and you never finally master it because it keeps breaking. You need to having to fix things. It's a really powerful tool, but it does require so much time that I don't even recommend it for most people unless you're a programmer or you want to get into this kind of advanced stuff. I use it for coding only. I used to take it for note taking. But because Obsidian and Loxic are so accessible now, I don't really think I recommend it for general note taking. It's just that Markdown, you know, Obsidian and Loxic are just so much more accessible that I just think they're better tools for that purpose, you know? So yeah, great question. Really, really appreciate that. Thoughtful question. I don't know if there's any other examples. Does anyone know of any examples that is just too feature packed that is unusable? I definitely think it's possible, you know, like I think Notion gets close, but Notion is like in a nice it's kind of like walking on a thin line where like it has so many features, or more than features, it's like it has a lot of different applications. It's a very flexible tool, almost to the extent that it doesn't do anything. Like it's not meant for anything in particular. It's just meant for everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe Notion a little, but I still think Notion is a good app that walks on the thin line, trying not to add so many features that is unusable. It's kind of like working on that fine line that is still useful. What are your computer specs? Yeah, so this computer right here, this bad boy, is my first custom-made computer, and yeah, it's just so sexy. I really love it. The specs, yeah, okay, so let me try to show you my specs. Info, system information. Yeah, here it is. Okay, sorry for the light mode. I really wish Windows let me show this in dark mode, but you know, okay. Yeah, this is more for the computer nerds. Just looking into this kind of stuff. Let's see, hardware resources. Maybe just in system summary I can show you everything. Okay, so the processor, you know, I'm just gonna probably give you the most important stuff. Let me see if I can zoom into this. Okay, so I have an AMD Ryzen 7. That is a pretty good processor. Then I have what else can I find that's important? I'm not a huge nerd on these things. Like I don't fully know absolutely everything, but I know the basics, you know. Like, so for RAM, here I have 16 gigabytes of RAM right there. It's in 2 slots of 8 over there. I have my NVIDIA card. Here it is. Oh no, wait, where is it? Well, either way is an NVIDIA. Why is it not showing here? Do I have to go anywhere else? Components. Either way, it's a GeForce RTX. I think it's at 27,000. Why is it not here? Am I missing it? Can I just search for it? RTX. Ah, here it is, finally. Okay. It's an NVIDIA GeForce. Yeah, I was lying. It's not 27,000. It's GeForce RTX 3070. That is one of like the higher type. And what else I got? Well, I have liquid cooling for the processor, and I can't remember the name of the battery. I wait, why am I even showing you this? I have like a Notion table with nice images and stuff. Let me just wait for that to load. 16 gigabytes. I have upgraded my laptop to 32. Do it, especially for a power user like you. Yeah, no, honestly, because I have such a powerful processor and because I don't like to keep that many apps open at the same time, 16 gigabytes has been good enough for me. Like I don't max it out, to be honest. Like one of the heaviest things that I do is video editing and 3D animations, but 16 gigabytes hasn't been like a bottleneck for me, to be honest. But yeah, 32 is definitely tempting. I was definitely thinking of 32, but like the other components that I have in the computer are really good. So yeah, I don't think it's been a bottleneck. Let me see where this is. PC and tech. Okay, yeah, here it is. Computer. Bye. Okay, let me show you. Search computer. Which is the one that I went for? Yeah, okay, so I have like a cool master. This one right here. I think I went for option. Which one is this filtered by? Okay, yeah, I think this is the option that I ended up buying. This is when I was doing my research. So yeah, I have this Ryzen thing. I have an Asus mainboard, or mainboard. Zotac. Yeah, this was the RTX one that I was telling you about, the NVIDIA. I have this RAM of 2 of 8. I have an HDD hard drive of 1 terabyte, a gigabyte power source. This is the one that I was forgetting. So for SSD, I have 225 gigabytes, and these monitors that you can see right here, they are LG. Yeah, 24 inches. Either way, I hope that helps. Sorry for those of you that are not into this kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not a huge nerd. I don't know everything about everything, to be honest. Um, but yeah, pretty happy with it. It's been pretty good. In the combo of feature packed apps, I mean, I could say WeChat in China, but that is another matter we shall not discuss. Interesting. Which is good. Which is good for productive workflow? Single extra wide curve monitor or multi monitors? I personally think that this multi monitor setup is way better than an extra wide. I was definitely considering the extra wide, but I really like the fact that I can. Well, it's kind of hard to show. Maybe in this camera you can see it a bit better, but like just having the ability of moving apps around quickly. I don't know if you can see that. Like here I just have a couple of shortcuts and I'm moving things around. I really like that. Just being able to be like, okay, now I need this thing on this other screen is pretty nice. For instance, in here, in this screen, I'm recording the live stream and I can monitor what I'm doing. Camera one, I can see that I can see myself in there. Whereas with an ultra wide, it's kind of hard to make that perfect split. And YouTube videos are not necessarily optimized for widescreen and tons of stuff like that. But I mean, if you're into it, I think they're really cool. And I was definitely considering, but for me, this was a bit cheaper, and because I already spent so much money in that monster, I wanted something a bit more cost efficient. That is still good. These screens aren't like next level, but they're pretty good. They're alright. I think they're 75 hertz, and yeah, they're just 1080 p. So yeah, they're just HD. They're not 4K or 2K. I mean, you complain about SpaceMax in relation to the what? Yeah, no, SpaceMax is definitely oversaturated, but I think it's a great app still. I started to get into coding recently and I want to become a web developer. Can you give me some tips on how I should approach this field? Hopefully earn a side income. That's pretty cool, yeah. So I mean, I've done a couple of projects on web development for people, but I'm personally not a professional in that. It's just something that I know a little bit about. And I like some platforms that help me do and create websites. Right now I'm using one of the most easy ones, which is called Super, so super.so. And it's just kind of like an easy way to create websites, but this is not the kind of stuff that professionals would do unless they have a very specific need. What's ironic is that I end up doing a pretty well paid website for someone using Super because they needed to be able to update the website themselves. And because Super uses Notion as a backend for all the content building, I think definitely having something that is easy for the client to use is definitely valuable. So it depends on the purpose of what the projects that you're working on are. If it's something that you kind of like just work, you develop the website and then you hand it off to like the client that maybe is knowledgeable enough to update it themselves or to hire someone else in the future, or if you want to work long term, then that's definitely a way to approach it. I would just say like definitely try to see where there might be a hole in the market. I think at the end of the day, all of these skills being a freelancer require a lot of knowledge of marketing. So I definitely would recommend to try to understand where the industry is heading. Because one thing is to learn the skills, but I think the skills that you learn should be guided by where you can actually find a hole in the market that you can fill in. Maybe something that people aren't offering a service too much on. Like I think WordPress is pretty oversaturated, even though you could maybe find like a nice area that no one really focuses on that much. So yeah, I would say honestly, try to do your market research to see what is in demand, where there might be not enough supply of professionals doing that kind of stuff, and try to fit into that market. I think a lot of freelancing just comes down to like being a good salesperson and marketing more than the skills that you have, because I don't have that many skills on web design, but I have managed to do a couple of works here and there even without that many skills, to be honest. So that's kind of like cheating. I only know CSS and HTML. So yeah, I'm pretty limited on my skill set, but if you just find like the right market, there's definitely ways you can profit from any skill that you have. So yeah, best of luck with that, and yeah, hope that helps. I would say multiple monitors, as you can slot different tasks into different monitors, but that can be offset if you have commands to split screen by apps in many different ways. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's definitely ways to work around it in a wider monitor, and it could definitely be a nice experience still. But I personally do like the 2-monitor. I think 3 monitors is kind of like incredible, but anything more than 3 monitors is just overkill. You know, so I'm really happy with my 2 monitors, to be honest. Pretty cool. Oh, tons of questions. All right, let me try to get to them. What happened to camera 2? Camera 2 used to be so close. Yeah, camera 2 used to be right here, like right here. But it's kind of a pain to set it up in there because I don't have a good tripod for that one. So I'm experimenting with this angle right here. It's a bit of a different thing, just switching things around. But yeah, good to know that you like it here. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe I might move it there next time. So thanks for that. Thanks for the feedback. Understandable. Have my eyes on a 49 inches LG ultra wide monitor. Is enormous, but I think I'd benefit from it. That's really cool because Hitachi, if I'm not wrong, you do more like coding work. I think that's pretty nice, especially if you have like a code editor where you can just have like different panels or like just stretching out the specific app that you're using. I don't know what you're using, but like something like VS Code would definitely fit nicely, you know, into an ultra wide. So yeah, I mean, no, definitely that'd be really cool. Yeah, best of luck with that. I hope you get it. Space Milk lagging to not having enough RAM. Yeah, interesting. No, okay, I know what you mean. No, so SpaceMax doesn't take long to load because of lack of RAM. It takes long because that's just how SpaceMax is. Like, honestly, it's not that much of a matter of RAM. SpaceMax just takes time. Like, as far as I know, it's not dependent on the RAM. I don't know. Yeah, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm happy to upgrade my RAM if I ever need to. But so right now, I don't want to spend time on RAM. Yeah. Do you use RSS feed and feed reader? Yeah, so I've actually used quite a bit in the past. Let me see what this one is called. I've used quite a few, but at the moment, oh man, no, I didn't save that. I haven't been using one recently, but there's one called, what is it called, man? I can't believe I forgot it. That one was my favorite and I wanted to make a video to review it, but there's so many apps in my head sometimes and I didn't save this one. What is it called? Sorry, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that because I can't remember the name of it. Is it called 5 RSS? Let me see. Okay, I mean, I've definitely tried this one. There's one called Reader 5. Yeah, I think I've tried this one in the past, but no, there's another one that I really like. I think it's Feed Reader, right? No, well, either way, to answer your question, right now I'm not using one. Yeah, okay, Feed Reader. This was the one. Do I not have it saved? That's crazy. I thought I had. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Let me just log into it. Yeah, this is the one that I was thinking. There you go. So Feed Reader, this was the one that I was using the most. But yeah, I just don't end up taking a look at it that much, you know. But I think this is one of the best ones. As far as I understood it, this one was free. And I think anything that you need to upgrade is just for minor things that I didn't feel like I needed. You know, I added Austin Kleon, which is a really cool writer that I enjoy reading. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. You can read the blog post in here, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I would recommend this one. It's pretty nice, very simple, very elegant, and it does have some nice shortcuts. Let me turn on the shortcuts first. There we go. Yeah, so you can go down with J, and you can go up with K, which is pretty cool, of course, like that. Vim shortcut. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Pretty nice. But yeah, I don't end up using it as much as I thought I would. I was definitely in the search for an RSS reader for a long time, but now that I have one that I enjoy, as you can see, I didn't even remember the name of it. So yeah, I'm not huge into it, but I think they're pretty cool, and I love the idea of them. Maybe I'll get back to them. Thanks for reminding me. Can you suggest some courses on CSS? Would like to create my own plugins / theme for Obsidian. I've taken a course by... Well, actually, one of the resources that I highly recommend. Okay, I'll give you a couple of resources. One of them is this guy on YouTube. I think he might have changed his name recently. Yeah, either way, here he is. Danny Crossing. Can I not copy that? I wanted to just copy that into the chat for you. Yeah, Danny Crossing. If you want, you can copy the link. He is one of the main guys that I learned from. So he has a playlist on CSS, HTML, and CSS. Yeah, definitely try to learn some HTML just so that you can fully experiment with the CSS, like building your own like raw websites, just for the sake of understanding. I also read a book called Head First into CSS. There's one for HTML and there's one for CSS, and these ones are really good. You know, there you go. So those two resources are incredible. There's another guy that I took a course on. This was a video course. What is he called? I took a JavaScript course from him actually, but I'm pretty sure he has a CSS one as well. Programming with Mosh. Yeah, this guy.
Hi.
Yeah, so Programming with Mosh. I'm pretty sure he has a CSS course, and they're usually pretty affordable. Yeah, here. The Ultimate HTML and CSS series, right? So yeah, check this one out if you want. I don't even know how much this one costs, but I definitely bought a similar course on JavaScript. Okay, yeah, so this one is a bit more pricey than the one that I had. But he does do some discounts, and he has like these complete bundle memberships or like monthly payments. Yeah, maybe something like this could be good. Coding with Mosh. Mosh, coding made simple. Yeah, either way, codewithmosh.com, right? Yeah, I'll link it to you just in case you want it. There you go. I think those are good resources. Those should get you through. Again, if you want some free stuff, this is what it used to be called. It was Toots. Danny Crossing, he's a great guy. His style of teaching is really good, very easy and accessible. So yeah, highly recommended. There you go. Hope that helps. What else? I think to really get a hold on the field, you need to start with the basics. Learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript will give you a solid foundation. I'm a software engineer, by the way, junior though. Yeah, no, that makes sense. You know, like, and that has definitely been one of my barriers. Not knowing JavaScript well enough, that has been definitely one of the barriers that I still have from being able to be more proficient in coding and so on. You know, so that's definitely good advice. HTML and CSS essential. I know those two. Either way, like, I mean, I'm not a genius in CSS. There's people that are just like gods of CSS, and I'm nowhere close. But like, having strong foundations of those two, HTML and CSS, is great. And JavaScript just takes you to the next level, I feel. For monitors, a perfect sweet spot. Yeah, I don't know. It seems a bit of overkill. Yeah, you know. I mean, yeah, you can definitely make use of it. I just don't think it's necessary. In the subject of CSS, I think rather than going through huge tutorials, you start your own project, and then when you stumble on anything, you check it. Then yeah, I mean, I do think that you do need a couple of tutorials just to know what's what, because there's no way that you can figure it out stuff from scratch. Like, you just need to have like some fundamentals first. But yeah, no, I mean, I like, for instance, the one that I was talking about, Danny Crossing. He usually teaches you by working on a project together. And I think that's one of the best ways to learn, you know? It seems like he's doing some different type of content recently, but either way, he still has a lot of like really good playlists on HTML and CSS. Yeah, this one's really good. And he walks you through a project. Because it definitely gets, I mean, even though I agree, I think this is something a bit more intermediate thing to do on just Googling things when you stumble upon roadblocks. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's not a bad approach. Yeah, check out the basics first. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. That makes total sense. Cool. Awesome, guys. Oh, we're gonna watch this video. What happened to that? Let's watch it. It's called How to Practice Effectively for Just About Anything. Okay, I'm excited. Let's do it.
Mastering any physical skill, be it performing a pirouette, playing an instrument, or throwing a baseball, takes practice. Practice is the repetition of an action with the goal of improvement, and it helps us perform with more ease, speed, and confidence. So what does practice do in our brains to make us better at things? Our brains have two kinds of neural tissue, gray matter and white matter. The gray matter processes information in the brain, directing signals and sensory stimuli to nerve cells. while white matter is mostly made up of fatty tissue and nerve fibers. In order for our bodies to move, information needs to travel from the brain's gray matter down the spinal cord through a chain of nerve fibers called axons to our muscles. So how does practice or repetition affect the inner workings of our brains? The axons that exist in the white matter are wrapped with a fatty substance called myelin, and it's this myelin covering or sheath that seems to change with practice.
What?
Myelin is similar to insulation on electrical cables. It prevents energy loss from electrical signals that the brain uses, moving them more efficiently along neural pathways. Some recent studies in mice suggest that the repetition of a physical motion increases the layers of myelin sheath that insulates the axons. And the more layers, the greater the insulation around the axon chains, forming a sort of superhighway for information connecting your brain to your muscles.
No way.
So while many athletes and performers attribute their successes to muscle memory, muscles themselves don't really have memory. Rather, it may be the myelination of neural pathways that give these athletes and performers their edge with faster and more efficient neural pathways. There are many theories that attempt to quantify the number of hours, days, and even years of practice that it takes to master a skill.
Oh yeah, the classic 10,000 hours, which I'm sure has like a lot of. I haven't read that book. Is it called 10,000 Hours by something Madwell? Gladwell? What is his name?
While we don't yet have a magic number, we do know that mastery isn't simply about the amount of hours of practice. It's also the quality and effectiveness of that practice.
Delivered practice, right?
Effective practice is consistent, intensely focused, and targets content or weaknesses that lie at the edge of one's current abilities. So if effective practice is the key, how can we get the most out of our practice time? Try these tips. Focus on the task at hand. Minimize potential distractions by turning off the computer or TV and putting your cell phone on airplane mode. In one study, researchers observed 260 students studying. On average, those students were able to stay on task for only 6 minutes at a time. Laptops, smartphones, and particularly Facebook were the root of most distractions. Start out slowly or in slow motion. Coordination is built with repetitions, whether correct or incorrect. If you gradually increase the speed of the quality repetitions,
Gotta watch at double speed. I'm sorry. I'm impatient.
you have a better chance of doing them correctly. Next, frequent repetitions with allotted breaks are common practice habits of elite performers. Studies have shown that many top athletes, musicians, and dancers spend 50 to 60 hours per week on activities related to their craft. Many divide their time used for effective practice into multiple daily practice sessions of limited duration. And finally, practice in your brain in vivid detail. It's a bit surprising, but a number of studies suggest that once a physical motion has been established, it can be reinforced just by imagining it. In one study, 144 basketball players were divided into two groups. Group A physically practiced one-handed free throws, while Group B only mentally practiced them. When they were tested at the end of the 2-week experiment, the intermediate and experienced players in both groups had improved by nearly the same amount. As scientists get closer to unraveling the secrets of our brains, our understanding of effective practice will only improve. In the meantime, effective practice is the best way we have of pushing our individual limits, achieving new heights, and maximizing our potential.
That's pretty crazy. I really like that concept. And by the way, what's up, man? Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, like it's really interesting, like that idea that if you think about something, then that also counts as practice. You know, after like you already know how to do a certain task, then you can just think of it and practice it. Watch your theme. Yeah, okay. You keep bringing that one up, man. Your theme by... But we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Just to show that persistence pays off. You keep telling me to check it out, and I keep not checking it out. Okay, let's take a look. I watched half of it, I think.
Hello, Internet. If you didn't already know, I'm a big fan of the yearly theme, a broad rainbow above your goals to help direct you on part of your journey through this life. And yes, I know exactly how that sounds. But if you're intrigued and or wondering why Gray would recommend such a thing and looking for a way to give it a try, well, I've got something for you. The Theme System Journal. Ooh, lovely. The Theme System Journal is a beautifully designed notebook. Inside is a welcome page with guidance on how to pick a theme for the theme page that follows. Pages, actually. Sometimes your theme will need to change, so no pressure to get it perfect the first time. Then pages for qualitative daily quality journaling and a section for quantitative tracking of progress. You may notice this is pretty open-ended. There aren't explicit "you must do this here" labels on the boxes, and it's because it's important to me that the design of the journal not force my exact process on you. But if you want to know what I generally do when I'm journaling, I use the top line for where I am at the time, what am I personally and professionally grateful for. Yes, I know how that sounds, and past me would have rolled his eyes so hard at that, but it's frustratingly effective. Maybe a story for another time. Anyway, the big box is the place to get out what is on my mind when I wake up in the morning, and the bottom box is for the one most important thing to get done today, such that if only this gets done, it still counts as a good day. That's what I do, and if you're looking for a place to start, that's what I would recommend, and then shape the theme system journal to be what works best for you and your theme over the season. If you've listened to the theme discussions on the Cortex podcast, where the little logo comes from, you will already know this journal has been 18 months in the making. 18 months of perfect paper picking, debossing, debugging, pen penetration prevention, cover considerations, and beta batches canvassing critiques. And all of that is fully finished. The final forms finally for sale. If you want to give themes a try as a way to guide you.
I mean, it looks pretty cool. I definitely want to check out more of these guys' podcasts because I've heard a couple of episodes. They seem like cool guys, and I do like the concept. I mean, I personally am more than okay with a blank notebook. Like, I do journal every morning, but like a blank notebook for me is perfect. I do like the concept they have of like, if I achieve this one thing, this will be a good day. It's just that like, I also don't like putting that pressure on like, I need to achieve a certain something for things to be a good day. You know what I mean? It's kind of tricky for me. Like, I don't fully know if I like doing that. It's just a very goal-oriented approach. And I just try to, like, again, I try to follow whatever I consider interesting in the day. There's definitely responsibilities that I need to follow, but like for the most part, I go with intuition and what are the things that I get joy out of doing and that are part of like my daily routines and habits. So yeah, I mean, pretty cool. Like, I definitely don't discourage anyone from getting such a journal. But a blank notebook for me right now at the moment is more than enough. That is, of course, until I decide to make my own, and then I need to promote it, and then I'll change my mind for my own convenience. But yeah, there you go. How many languages do you speak? Do you think we can learn more languages after we turn 25? Of course, yeah. I'm 25. I speak. I mean, I'm gonna cheat right here because a lot of these languages I don't speak fluently. But yeah, okay. Spanish. I'll just say the ones that I speak fluently first, right? Okay. So Spanish is my first language. So I'm pretty good at it, just by design. English, I'm decent at it. Not perfect, but pretty good. And then from there, I'm learning Italian, right? Italian is not that strong, but yeah, I'm making solid progress. You know, getting more advanced as time passes. Not perfect. I think I can understand more than I can speak, definitely, but that's just part of the process, you know. I really believe in this idea of learning through immersion and comprehensive input. Is that what it's called? Comprehensible input. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, so if you research into the science of this, comprehensible input, like this theory just takes you along the way learning languages. Just the idea that to learn a language, you need to form the intuition of listening to the language quite a lot. So like whenever you, I don't know if you're learning Italian or you're learning any language, try to watch a lot of YouTube videos on that language, try to watch films, try to listen to music and immerse yourself in it. And that's the way that babies do it. You know, babies, they don't go to classes for learning their first language. They just hear it a lot. They hear it so much that their brain starts like developing this intuition of what words mean. It's nothing like, you know, it's nothing like hippie. It's just saying that you need to have a lot of input in order to create any output. So if you are learning a language, don't put too much pressure at the beginning on trying to speak it. You know, like first just try to listen a lot, try to understand with comprehensible input, meaning language that is, that is fairly simple for you to understand from the beginning, and then progress into more advanced stuff, you know. So definitely, I don't think, and I've done a lot of research on this, being 25, being 30, being 40, like doesn't really, is not as huge of a factor as people make it seem. Of course, it's easier when you're younger, just because, I think it's mostly because you have more time and you're more willing to learn things. I think the reason why it's harder to do it when you're older is because our curiosity just plummets down and we have less time and we don't value things that don't make money, you know, as much. So I think that's the main contributing factor, but of course I'm not the ultimate authority in this. But yeah, I definitely think you can definitely do it. I mean the video's title, your theme. This is a theme journal thing. You have made the same mistake. Never mind. I'll do it some other time, man. Check out. Yeah, Steve Kaufman, right? This is the guy. This is it, right? Like I think he talks a lot about comprehensible input, and he's one of the masters of like this kind of stuff. His theories are super good, so definitely check them out. Not sure if I'm getting him confused with another guy, but yeah, pretty nice. Awesome. I don't know. Have I reached the point of diminishing returns now? Sorry, in what? In language? Or were you talking about languages? Sorry, man. I don't know if I got your previous message. Let me know what you're talking about. Cool. Awesome, guys. Sorry for those of you that just arrived. I might start wrapping it up soon. I saw your name. Hey, what's up, man? Good to have you here, Leo. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. I might start to wrapping it up soon. I need to go make lunch, and then I need to go to the gym. I just signed up to a new gym, so I'm pretty excited for that. I've been working out there's a gym in this building, and yeah, I've just been training there for a couple months. But I just signed up to a slightly better gym with more of the equipment that I need. So yeah, it's kind of like nerve-wracking. Like I haven't really gone to gyms all that much. I've always been a skinny guy, and I'm trying to change that. So yeah, but either way, I mean, it's gonna be fine, and I'm excited. I'm excited for it because I've definitely been reading like crazy on bodybuilding, muscle gaining, just better nutrition. Like I'm on a caloric surplus, if you know what that means. Just like eating more calories than normal. That has been kind of like my passion at the moment, my hobby, which I never thought would be a passion of mine. I was always kind of like against lifting weights and so on. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, either way, if you have any final questions, do let me know. If not, I'm gonna wrap it up soon. Water break.
Water break activated. It's good to be hydrated.
There we go. Cool, I'll probably do one final solve, and if no one asks a question by the time I solve this, then we'll end the stream. If not, I'm happy to continue it for a bit. Oh, someone said something. Wait, let me still wrap it up. Okay, it's just bye, have a good day. Yeah, if anyone has any final questions, you can still feed the question within the time it takes me to solve this cube. If not, we'll wrap it up. What? My dude, thank you so much for the donation. Oh, I don't know what that currency is. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to research that. But either way, thank you so much. Really appreciate the super chat. What currency is that, man? Let me research it. That's so nice of you. Thank you so much. So is it rupees? I think it's rupees, right? Oh, that's so kind of you. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Samarth, is that your name? Thank you so much, man. Like, I think you're the second super chat in the channel, so it really means a lot to me. The support really is a huge encouragement, even if like not everyone does it. I don't want to put that expectation on people that they have to super chat or like donate in order to enjoy the streams, but it definitely means a lot. And I truly appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for making my day with that. That's so cool of you. Really means a lot. I'm getting close to solve this. Feel free to drop any questions. Almost there. Oops. Okay. Getting there. Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay, there's a few things. Let's see. How often do you do streams? Want to catch the next one? Awesome. Yeah, of course. So if you check the description, there should be this link called santianger.com/livestream. And in here, I update this. Right now, it's out of date, so I'm really sorry about that. But I'll put a countdown for the next live stream, and usually is on Tuesdays around. Well, in here is gonna show you in your time zone. So definitely take a look for this link. I'm gonna be updating it in a bit, and And yeah, that's how you can follow up. Actually, one of the better ways that you can do this is by adding it to your Google Calendar, because that way you can see it in your calendar as soon as I update it, instead of having to revisit this page all the time. So yeah, you can just click here and that is going to add it to your Google Calendar if you have one, you know? So yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Do you think it's smart for a medical student to use Obsidian as a note-taking and knowledge management in the long term? I think it's a good idea. Yeah, definitely, because even if you don't end up using Obsidian for your whole duration of your whole medical practice long term, I still think you develop the habits that are important in order to what is this word? To process knowledge in a way that is meaningful and in that way that is going to help you long term. One of the most valuable things about Obsidian is that it has like this idea of owning your own files, plain text files. And by doing that, you get more into the habit of finding and developing systems that you can actually carry on for the long term, and I think having knowledge that lasts you years is definitely something that is going to help you, especially as a doctor where you need to manage so much knowledge. So I definitely think it's a good idea. Yeah, so definitely go for it. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Studying, I guess it would be a great bet. Yeah, definitely. Check out Streamlabs. YouTube takes 45% of the donations. Streamlabs takes only 2% of the donations, so that our donations can make more of a difference. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you for the recommendation. I use Streamlabs for a couple of things in here. I just haven't researched much on their donation system. So yeah, I'm aware of it, but I haven't looked that much into it. But thank you so much for the recommendation. I'll definitely take a look into that to see if that's a better way to do it. But either way, like I do appreciate quite a lot the donations done through YouTube. But I'll definitely keep this in mind. So thank you, Samyek, for the recommendation. And with that said, thank you so much. Again, a special shout out to you, Samarth. You are the man, and I really appreciate the super chat. It really means a lot to me. So thank you so much for that, man. Hope you have a great day. And yeah, there you go, guys. Oh wait, thanks, Santi. I think you help a lot of people to get started with Obsidian. That's invaluable, given that Obsidian doesn't look like a very easily approachable software. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, because it's such a different software, with links and concepts that are just not well known to us, just a different way to take notes. I do think that some beginners do struggle, and I'm trying to help beginners the most. So I'm happy I'm able to do that, and thank you for the kind words, man. Really means a lot. Cool, guys. Okay, we'll end it there, but I hope you have a great week. Because it's Christmas time soon, and because my uncle is visiting from England, I don't know if I'll do a stream next Tuesday, but again, keep an eye on this page, and if you can, add it to your calendar. That way you're gonna know when the next streams are. And of course, subscribe to YouTube and do all the things that YouTubers ask you to do, such as this thing right here. That will, of course, help to get notifications. Have a good day. Bye. Yep, that's it, guys. Hope you have a great week, and we'll talk soon. Bye.